everyone. Hope you're having a great Saturday evening. It is a little after 9 o'clock tonight, and we are joining you now from WSAZ Plus, streaming with you the latest weather updates as this storm system has now set up shop over the tri-state area, and we are seeing more snowflakes that are falling this evening. Chief Meteorologist Tony Cavalier sent us all a note saying that we should expect to start seeing some more snow at about this time and at about 10 and 11. And right on cue, we are seeing that. Let me see if I can pull up here and show you some different cameras. We'll take a quick little tour before we get to Tony to get you the very latest on our evening forecast. But we'll show you what we are seeing here as of this evening. So right now, this is a live look into Charleston, West Virginia, where for the most part, we can see the interstates look mainly clear. I mean, you can still see some snow there kind of off on the shoulder, but drivers still making their way there. You can still kind of see that sheen on the road as drivers head through and you take a look at the headlights. But for the most part, able to get through this area. I've talked with some folks that were driving 64 through Putnam County and said for the most part that, yes, there was snowfall, but it looked as though the interstate was clear at this point. But remember, this all could change at nightfall and as we are asleep, because we know that storm system is not out of here just yet. This is going to be here for the next day, and then we're dealing with the aftermath. We'll show you tonight in Huntington what things are looking like here. This is the overhead view at downtown Huntington, where you can see the snow is falling. I looked out the window just within the last little bit before I walked upstairs to our streaming studios, and there was a fresh coating of snow on the sidewalks and the streets, and that's kind of the name of the game for the next few days. Our meteorologists are telling us everything that falls and sticks is going to be around for the days to come. That's why we have several first alert weather days on the board for us. So on that note, let me bring in our chief meteorologist, Tony Cavalier, and we're going to do a quick little update here because we have to be on with you again at 10 and 11. Tony, I'm very appreciative of you joining me here as we update our viewers on what we're seeing. And I said you were spot on with what you said when you sent us that note. The snow is falling again. Is it just falling in certain parts of the region or all over right now?
Heavier to the south, but now the expectation was we would have light snow in the evening, and
right.
We even said if you need to get out, you'd be able to do so. It was midnight and thereafter when the barrage of snow was coming in, and nothing has changed our opinion of that. So let me take you to refresh your memory on the winter storm alert that's in effect over a 25-state area from Texas all the way north to New England, and smack dab in the middle of that is our area. Note the ice storm warnings are far to the south. We're talking about Charlotte, Atlanta, over toward Memphis. So the fingers crossed that the warm wedge that Dylan was talking about will produce less than a half inch of ice across our area. But still, that's something that we have to watch. It'll be a last-minute affair. The snow breakdown. Okay, we used this at 6 o'clock this evening. We went through 7 o'clock. That Charleston-Logan would get 3 inches overnight. The river cities would get 5 inches. Tomorrow there will be a change to snow, from snow to sleet, freezing rain and rain, that may act to help to compact the snow, with the river cities continuing an icy mix. Late date will be coming in. I'll confirm or refute that notion at 10 and 11. And then tomorrow night, whatever sloppy, slushy, or icy mess is out there will be covered by a fresh 1 to 3 inches of snow. I'm figuring Charleston, the Coalfields 3 inches, river cities 2 inches. And then whatever falls on top of that will stay around, not just for Monday, but for all of next week. A growing area in deep blue of steady, moderate snow crossing from the Daniel Boone National Forest of eastern Kentucky, defined as Jackson, Hazard, back, for example, toward London and toward Corbin, crossing the Big Sandy and into the southern West Virginia, Tug River and Wyandotte River counties. So this is the area that is now experiencing snow at the rate of 1/2 to 1 inch an hour when I see deep blues on Doppler radar. So traveling the Mountain Parkway, traveling this part of the Country Music Highway, traveling the Coal River Mountain Highway, the Coal Highway, traveling over toward Bolt and Horse Pen Mountains, getting it on steady and heavier snow. Back to the west, Nicholas was pointing out how snow seems to wants to really start peppering down Louisville south. So what we're doing is defining, even though there are some areas in here in northern Kentucky, if I can define them, where it looks like there's a minimal amount of snow falling. Just poor radar coverage is likely the result of this. So this is a growing area of snow. And yes, the fence between snow and freezing rain, or at least sleet, is setting up on dual Doppler radar. That would be the pink versus the blue. So somewhere in there, Nashville had heavy freezing rain earlier on, and then there may be a break between Nashville and Memphis that will be totally arrested. In other words, we've got to go through this huge spiral. It's known as a comma head in meteorology, and until it passes, we will have the opportunity for snow to continue in our area, or for at least a messy mix. So it's got a long way to go. What's it all mean, you say? Well, between now and 5 in the morning, snow will pick up in intensity, fall heavy, and accumulate, and then become a heavy mix by 5 to 7 in the morning. Wake up tomorrow morning, the temperature could even be near 30 degrees. Generally, 3 to 6 inches of snow will be on the ground, mixed with some sleet, right? If you ask me where the 6 is more likely to occur, I'd say southern Ohio, northern Kentucky. If you ask me where the 3 inches is more likely to occur, I'd say Charleston down into the coal fields. Should we get above freezing tomorrow, we would start to melt that away. And keep in mind, where we go from sleet to freezing rain, there will be the possibility of some power outs. Here's the snow forecast we issued a couple of days ago, and we'll be taking a close eye at these numbers as we get ready for our 10 and 11 o'clock newscast, and for tomorrow morning when we will be on at 6 to 8 in the morning. Basically, we're expecting that there will be a hefty amount of snow on the ground, and it will be snowing, sleeting, or raining in your area with temperatures below freezing. That could mean freezing rain. As far as the accumulations are concerned, think of it this way if you're looking at Olive Hill and Moorhead. Already, Moorhead to Mount Sterling on I-64 has picked up 1 to 2 inches. So that's the type of snow I expect to arrive in the Huntington to Charleston area here before midnight. An inch or two by midnight, and then steady snow continues overnight and mixes with freezing rain and sleet. Into interior southern Ohio, we're doubtful that we'll get much in the way of a changeover, perhaps some sleet, perhaps some freezing rain, but basically we code up more snow from Moorhead, Portsmouth toward Athens than other areas. We actually have a little contest going on because 3 of the 4 Mets here in-house, all 4 of us have given a snow accumulation map for Athens, which is the high end. So anywhere from 10 to 12 inches of snow seems to be a real good bet. In fact, Nicholas feels, and he knows the climatology up there, having gone to OU, they could do better than a foot of snow. Well, it's real cold there, and there's no risk of sleet or freezing rain, so everything that falls will be snow. 6 to 8 inches across the river cities over toward Olive Hill and Carter Caves in Kentucky. Tough call from Paintsville on the edge of the 3 to 6 inches from Charleston south. But let's focus our attention on Charleston south because not all this is likely to fall overnight. We're talking about 3 inches overnight, and then some freezing rain and sleet, and then another 1 to 3 at night. So you get the idea. This is an aggregate amount of snow that is falling. And Nicholas put on this beautiful presentation of the forecast for ice accumulation, freezing rain and sleet. And keep in mind, it takes about a 1/4 inch of ice for widespread power outs. So where might that be? Certainly Paintsville, Logan, Coalfields, this little boomerang, if you will. We're also watching the eastern mountains of West Virginia for that possibility, although this would suggest 0.1 to 0.25. This is what you don't want to see tomorrow. You want to see the lights on. Obviously, Huntington north and west. Farther north you go, farther west you go, you're more into the all-snow category. So the 7-day forecast, we may inch above freezing tomorrow afternoon to make roads more sloppy and slushy. Otherwise, we'll start with a dense snowpack, dry and powdery in northern Kentucky, southern Ohio, but dense through the river cities and Canal Valley where sleet and freezing rain have mixed in. I expect some snow flurries and snow showers to linger into Monday. Accumulations on Sunday night into Monday should be 1 inch to 3, but likely as much as half a foot up in the West Virginia mountains. Arctic cold, so we continue the alert all the way through Tuesday. Ice underfoot, icebox conditions. Should we have snow on the ground at the end of the night on Sunday into Monday, we likely are not melting anything away of substance, and that means we could have school delays and closings all week long. So Taylor and Tim, that's my latest from the Weather Center. A quick update. Back in 1977, it was a brutal winter. And on that winter, the famous Rockefeller blizzard occurred at the end of January. And it was an interesting story to tell about that, because just like I ran upstairs to be with you guys, had to run back down here, then Governor Rockefeller called to a press conference, came down the rotunda steps. And naturally, anybody who goes up or down steps will do a little huffing and puffing. And basically, there was a hyperventilation that was going on in the governor, and that, when he went on with the message across West Virginia that a blizzard was coming in, it was actually blizzard conditions, that set off a panic. So there's no panic needed right now. Basically, we are going to get a heavy snowfall, especially from southern Ohio, northern Kentucky, and leaking into the river cities. We think that's a good possibility. But you know what? It's fluid until we get the first few inches of snow on the ground. And that's why we're on tomorrow morning from 6 to 8 o'clock. Dylan will be in here first thing in the morning. He'll be joined by Emily and Nicholas during the day, and I'll be in tomorrow night to keep you updated on the winter storm heading in. Alert days and winter storm warnings in effect.
All right. Well, Tony, appreciate you being here with us on WSAZ Plus. Thank you so much. We'll see you at 10 and 11. All right. So we'll let Tony hop off here, everyone, and we will stay with you to give you the very latest on these conditions. We appreciate Tony being with us, though. He will be back at 10 and 11, as will our entire team of meteorologists that are here at the station working to keep you safe. Tony brought up Athens, Ohio, and I want to see if maybe we can head live and take a look here at OU's campus. I'll show you that here tonight. Let me see. That should disappear for me there. There we go. So this is a look at OU's campus. So Tony and Nicholas and the team thinking that Athens, Ohio will get a whole bunch of snow out of this system. So we'll wait and see if the campus looks like a snowy scene over the next little bit and maybe come tomorrow morning. But this is a live view at OU for any of you that might have students that go there. This is what it looks like on campus right now. So I figured I'd show you that since Tony talked a lot about the fact that they have a little competition going on with our meteorologists to see who ends up determining which areas maybe get a foot of snow or more. That will be very interesting. But things really change up for us in the overnight hours. That is one thing that is for sure. When you wake up tomorrow morning, it's likely going to look a lot different. Tomorrow's really the thick of this storm. We're still seeing that snowfall this evening in so many parts of the region, but it's really those overnight hours into the morning that we're very concerned about. That's why starting tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, we were going to have a special edition of WSAZ Today that starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. We're also going to be here on WSAZ Plus streaming the very latest for you on the conditions. But our entire team, Rob, Martina, going to keep you posted from the desk. Dylan is going to be in studio, as will some of our other meteorologists, and we'll have reporters out there in the field, and our coverage will continue on into the evening hours. Tim and I will be back with our team of meteorologists and reporters. We'll be back in at about 2:30 tomorrow. First, we'll join you here on streaming before we see you on the desk. But we'll work to give you hour-by-hour updates to provide you with information on what we are seeing in hopefully each part of the region. And we've really appreciated a lot of you have been sending us videos and pictures too to show us what it looks like in your backyard and at your home. And we hope that you are home, warm inside, staying safe in all of this, and just watching the coverage from maybe your couch, taking in the TV from there and just looking at the beauty of it from out the window, and giving the road crews a lot of room and time to work because this is going to be a system where they're just going to kind of work to catch up. As we've seen. But we're getting reports a lot of the main roads still very clear at this point, although one of our reporters did send in a message, and I apologize, I'm going to have to read it, saying that 23 was getting pretty slick. So parts of 23, it looks like becoming slick to travel on, and we expect those conditions will probably worsen in the overnight hours. But lots of crews that are out there working to try to clear those roadways and make them passable for you. And we understand a lot of you are going to want to know what the driving conditions will look like tomorrow morning and come Monday because this is hitting on a weekend, and we know a lot of you will probably have to head back to work. Likely school going to be out for a lot, if not a majority, or maybe even all areas at some point. That's just kind of a wait and see come Monday. But for those of you that will have to get back into the swing of things, we'll work to keep you updated on road conditions as well to show you some of those drives and what things look like. So all of it going to be covered here at WSAZ. Stay with us for the full breakdown of what we're seeing here on WSAZ Plus. And hopefully you'll join us at 10 and 11. 10 will be on the Tri-State CW, 11 o'clock on WSAZ. Full updates on this winter storm of January 2026. For that, or for WSAZ Plus, I'm Taylor Eaton. Thank you so much for watching with us, everyone. See you at 10 and 11.